Hi, friends. Thank you so much for being a part of our 12:30 online prayer meeting. We've been out for just a little while with different things that have happened in our church, and then I was out checking on some things. Just wanted to thank you again for following up. I appreciate Brother Jeff filling in for me one Wednesday that I was not able to be a part here. Just want to remind you on our prayer sheet, a couple folks in the hospital we're praying for at KDMC, Joyce Burt. Rafi and Joyce. Joyce is in our local hospital, and Karen Chafin's neighbor, Dick Rayburn. Some of you may know him. And then at Batson Hospital, Wesley Loy. Wesley is a 12-year-old boy, been diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. His sugar shot up. They took him to the hospital, Children's Hospital in Jackson, and that's what he's been diagnosed with. He's doing okay right now. So pray for that family. Pray for Wesley as he makes that a lifelong adjustment. As the Lord heals him of that one day. But thank God for the things he's given us to treat that and successfully live with juvenile diabetes, type 1 diabetes. So I pray for that family. Pray for Wesley. And also at Batson Hospital is Maylee Thibodeau. Praying for Maylee. Last report I got early this morning, Maylee is still in the emergency room. They're waiting for a surgeon. She is a soccer player in Brookhaven High School, and she had her jaw broke in the game. And so, they can be quite traumatic, especially to anyone, but especially a young lady. And you've got finals coming up, all kind of things go on, when you happen in your mind, when you have those type things and concerns. So pray for Maylee that this gets fixed and healed, and the doctors know exactly what to do and what's best for her, and just calm that her spirit, knowing that the Lord cares for her. So pray for Maylee Thibodeau that gets fixed soon. And then also in Houston, Texas, sitting in a hotel right now is Allie Brooke West. We've been praying for this young girl, young elementary school girl. This was her 4th heart procedure. She had to have open heart surgery again to fix some vascular issues with her heart, major vessels that had to be fixed. So she said, I know multiple open heart surgeries. So pray for Allie Brooke. She's got good reports. She got released from the hospital. They're now in a hotel. We'll stay there till Friday when the doctor reviews and visits her. And then hopefully she'll be able to come home after that visit. She's doing well right now. Also, in our special prayer request, we want to remember a number of folks that just need to get better. They've had some difficult situations, but they're recovering from them. Remember Sasha King, a teenager, had spinal cyst that was apart. It was just one of those kind of rare situations, and she's doing good, but she's still having some lingering issues that need to be resolved. And so pray for that teenage girl, Sasha. God would heal her body and she'd feel better soon. Also, Virginia Thompson. Miss Virginia is one of our senior adults. She's been dealing with a number of issues lately and still awaiting some procedures and things. So pray for Miss Virginia. Avery Peekler is recovering from a broken leg. She's an educator. Our school just happened to be walking across the field, and you know how those things happen. And but pray for her. Jimmy Montgomery. Jimmy and Shirley lit one of our Advent candles. So grateful that they're doing better, that he's doing better. And continue to pray for him. He's under a series of chemotherapy. Jimmy, like Jerlene Chandler and Brittany Rushing, Bobby Wynn, Teresa Coleman, so many of these others like Dennis David Byron, Cindy Goff, Mickey Sandifer, Susan Chapman, Jeff, Madeline, Bailey, and Kimberly. All of these folks, we've got on our list, and I'm sure there may be even more, that have to deal with a chronic issue and the outcomes of cancer. Some are on kind of therapeutic chemotherapy. Others are having to fight it aggressively right now. Some are still in remission, but there are consequences for some of those hard cancers that had to be treated, some surgically, and so there's some post-surgical issues. But the main thing is we love them, contact them, and pray for them, and ask God to give them strength, and according to His will, bring all the grace that is needed to meet the need and lift their spirit. And so pray for Ruben Ann Mitkiff and Judy Arborough. Judy and Bertio Johnson have transitioned to different communities in the Southeast to be with their family, but we remember them fondly and pray they're doing well. So far, we've heard good reports. Al and Sue Holmes, continue to remember them on our list. Harold and Jetty Carey. Harold was able to be here at our 11 o'clock, but Jetty was not able to be. Pray for them. Continue to remember Todd Holland, David's son. Works with one governmental agency, but often has been sent to the southern border to assist our Border Patrol and those agencies because they're just overwhelmed, and they're still overwhelmed. So pray for our folks, and specifically David. Susan Diamond. Susan deals with chronic illness, but she's been at church and been involved in women's ministry, Bible study. So glad to see her out and about. Remember Jane Johnson. Jane is homebound, but we remember her lovingly, and I want to lift her up in prayer and her family. And so remember them also. Helen Hoggett saw her son here Sunday, and she depends strongly on his health. Continue to pray for Brother Ed Moak, Dr. Ed Moak. You know, he's dealing with blood pressure issues, just erratic and high, and they've been trying to control it. But he finally got an appointment with Mayo Clinic in Minnesota. They have seen him before, and he's going not too long from now. He'll be up there. And then they've reserved another time in January for any procedure they may have to do to try to resolve this extremely high blood pressure that he's dealing with. And so just remember, Dr. Ed, we're encouraged that this is moving forward, and hopefully the Lord, God willing, will give those dear doctors and therapists some insight to help him, because it's been a complicated situation for his health. Also remember our missionaries. We'll go into a great detail. You know them, folks like Jim and Penny and Patty Sue and Sam and Jesse. Since the last time we met, Sam's mother did pass away in India, and fortunately, he was able to be there with her. And so we are grateful for God's timing. They did have a funeral service, and he was able to be over there with his family. And so you remember that family. Steve and Peggy Jackson, retired association missions strategist here at Lincoln Association for over 7 years, member of our church. He's retired now, but he's still in ministry. He's still very active and busy ministering. He's an interim pastor right now to a sister church in our association. But he came and did our Lottie Moon Christmas offering Bible study. And that study this year is on Prague. And so I'll mention some of that here in just a moment. So remember these dear folks, along with two expectant moms, Lauren Horton and Hannah Allen Helmstetter. Also, our sympathies go out to Leslie Smith, one of our members. Her father passed away, Gerald Burke, and that service today will be a graveside service at 3 at Clear Branch Baptist Church Cemetery. Also, those in our military service, our military veterans, those in our special care facility. Some of our special care facilities took their moving van, and probably better called a transportation van, and the residents went and were part of the Christmas parade, traveling down the roads of downtown Brookhaven a week or so ago when we had our area city Christmas parade. So they enjoyed that. Also, remember, folks that you encounter, those that we have on our list that have yet to receive Christ as their Lord and Savior. pray for them, lift them up. They need your prayers, as well as those of our folks who struggle with addiction. Now, just to remind you of our schedule, I know many of you watch this because you're not getting out and about. Some of you are getting out and about selectively. I just want you to know, as the Lord leads and what is best for your health, just try to find a place to engage and get connected back in where you feel comfortable as the Lord leads you. We do still have one area in our sanctuary on our piano side that is reserved. It's socially distanced in that area. And then, of course, our sanctuary is quite large. And so there's places, even if we have 400, 500, 600 people, there's still a place you can kind of find a place in the sanctuary to be away from crowds if you're concerned about that. Most of our folks have come back and got involved, and we're now, I don't know, let's see, it's the 11th month, we started 13th, so we're now in 18 months of this global pandemic. Of course, the governor of Mississippi has removed the state of emergency for our state, and so that has allowed more freedom to do activities. But you be aware of what your health circumstances are. But if you're out in Walmart and going to basketball games and football games, dear friend, come on back to church. We're safer in those environments, and you can participate, and we need you. You will be blessed, and you will be a blessing. But for those who cannot, don't feel bad about that. This is just a season of life. It'll pass. But some of you may be in a chronic situation, and you're just not able to get out as much. But we know, and we want to pray for you, and grateful we have this opportunity to share. But this Sunday is a big Sunday for us. After Sunday school, we'll have our church service, and it's going to be a wonderful worship celebration. Our choir is prepared for its Christmas program, worship experience that night, which begins at 6:30. But they're bringing a taste of that to the 10:45 service, and the orchestra will be there. The choir will be singing. We'll have strings and brass and percussion. It's going to be wonderful. And then our Mississippi Baptist Convention Board Executive Director and Treasurer, Dr. Sean Parker, is going to be here. Dr. Parker was born right across the state line in the north line of Mississippi in a little community called Mickey, Tennessee. When I served in Corinth, Mississippi, it was right north of Corinth. When you traveled north out of Corinth, Mississippi, you went right into Mickey, Tennessee. And so he was born there, but his ministry has been in Louisiana and primarily in Mississippi. He was born in Mississippi. He actually was born in Booneville, Mississippi, but raised in Mickey, Tennessee. So great communicator of the gospel. You will love, tune in, watch online, and then if you're able to be a part of either of those services, make sure you're back at 6:30 for our Christmas Brookhaven First Baptist Brookhaven Christmas worship service. Again, the orchestra, the choir, there'll be songs, congregational songs we'll sing together, as well as choral specials, musical specials. So it's just going to be a great time to celebrate Christmas. We weren't able to do this last year. So it's just more special this year, I guess, because we've had the freedom to do this. So be a part of that. Of course, our deacons meet this Sunday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. We still have all of those things going on. So just a big time. Our schedule for Wednesday night, now that our children's programs have finished their fall semester, we will only have our 5:40 prayer service, and we will have it in Assembly Room 1 the next two Sundays. And then the next two Wednesdays, tonight and next Wednesday night, the 5:40 Wednesday night prayer service. So we'll be back tonight, and we'll be meeting in Assembly Room 1 this Wednesday night at 5:40, as well as next Wednesday, 5:40. And then we will not have the 5:40 service during the holidays weeks, but we will have the 11 o'clock senior adult prayer luncheon the last Wednesday of December. We'll take off just that one Wednesday during Christmas week, so our cooks can have their vacation and holidays, and other folks, but we'll be back the following before the new year begins. Well, let me just mention a few things, and you pray for the missionaries that Southern Baptist support. You know, we support about 3,700 international missionaries. That's not counting the national missionaries of North America, but the international missionaries around the world, over 100 countries, they're serving, having left their home, given their life to Christ in missions to take the gospel in any way they can reach people with the gospel. They'd be very creative to do this in this world. And this year we're focusing on the city of Prague in Czechia, the nation of Czechia, the old Czechoslovakia nation. Many of you are familiar with that. You've heard that in the news, or the Czech Republic it's been called. That country has been in a lot of war over the last 100 or so years. You know, Germany occupied them in World War II. They were liberated, and so it's a beautiful country. Dr. Jackson reminded us of the beauty but also of the brokenness. It's a beautiful country of natural resources and also history. Prague is the main city there, and so we have missionaries in Prague that reach out with the gospel. And even though it has a rich Catholic tradition, it is more now just a tradition. Over 50% of the people who live in Prague do not even believe in God, and they're much less even involved in the church, though they have a rich history of beautiful churches. Prague is known as the city of 100 spires because of the beautiful cathedrals. I mean, the architect is just glorious, and yet they're empty shells. You see, church is not a building, as you know. It's the people of God, saved by the grace of God through faith in Jesus Christ. And yet now Prague is a city of empty churches. People visit the buildings, but there's no congregations there to speak of. And so only 1% of the population of Prague and Czechia is evangelical Christians. And there are three major regions in Czechia, Czechoslovakia. You know them, Bohemia, and Moravia, and then a little sliver up in kind of the northeast, a little sliver region. That I'd never even heard of, can't even remember the name of, but I've heard of Bohemia and Moravia. And so Bohemian, you know, that's where we get that word and that culture. So how do we reach them? If they're not interested in church, and because of the communist influence and the World War II fascist and Nazi influence, where they minimized or eliminated even discussions about God, that's been transferred, or the distrust of church historically. How do you reach them? Well, you reach them through relationships. And we do that in as many different ways as possible, whether it's sports evangelism, where we have missionaries that are teaching American football. They're interested in that. Well, we teach the gospel through building relationships. They're very friendly people. They love to talk and engage and be a part. And once you develop a relationship, they're open to that. One of our evangelistic ways is we do a creative way. We've started a kindergarten, but it's a Christian kindergarten. Of course, the need there for childcare is just like here, where people working, most double earner income type of families, like in America. And so, these children are drawing pictures of Bible stories. And we teach the Bible stories through art and pictures. They take those home. The parents are like, well, what is this? Child's telling them about Bible stories. And from there, oftentimes they're interested in knowing more about the Bible. We give them a Bible, and it opens up relationships because we're helping meet a need. We have a deaf ministry there, and ministering to the deaf of Prague Czechoslovakia. And so on and on it goes. There's so many different ways that we help meet needs, build relationships, and through the relationships of trust, we're able to share the gospel. So it's a little non-traditional compared to how we do things here in America. I mean, we still build relationships and do the same kind of thing. And yet there's a more acceptance of Christianity here, an acceptance of believing. Over 90% of Americans believe in God. Over there, less than 50% believe in God. So we already have a starting bridge to cross over and take them to Christ and introduce them to Christ. In Prague, that is much less so. And so but we're sharing the gospel of Jesus Christ. And even though it is difficult, with only 1% of the people being evangelical Christians, the work goes on, relationships are being built. What can you and I do? We can pray for them along with the other 3,700 international missions. And as Southern Baptist, we all 47,000 local churches, all autonomous, but choosing to cooperate and work together, we give a special offering called the Lottie Moon Christmas International Missions Offering. And this offering goes to help support 58% of the International Mission Board budget for the year. Now imagine that in just about a 4 to 6 week period, just by volunteer generous gifts, sacrificial gifts, Southern Baptists help meet the rest of that budget, 58% of that budget. And our missionaries are able to stay on the field. They don't have to come back and worry about raising their support every year. There's many who do that. We have missionaries that are not a part of the IMB, but are doing wonderful mission work that are associated with our church. We help support them too, and they have to do that. They have to leave the field, come to America for months at the time to one-on-one raise funds and then go back. Southern Baptist missionaries don't have to do that. They can stay on the field sometimes for years. Now, they do have sabbaticals and are able to come back and get training here and meet with their family, but they're not here like you and I are. When they come back, they get refreshed, able to meet their families, but many times they're away for years at a time. And so thank God for our missionaries. Pray for them. Give sacrificially what the Lord would put on your heart, what you're able to do. Do something that would be encouraging and exciting for you to give. Think of creative ways that you can help give and involve your family or friends or neighbors. There's a lot of different ways we can. Don't limit ourselves. So I just want to encourage you. Pray for our missionaries. Let's give. Our goal has been set. We're going to try to raise over $45,000, and then we really need to try to meet that goal, because even though we give through the cooperative program, that meets part of their budget. But Lottie Moon meets the rest of their budget. So, and then we would love to be able to meet our challenge goal and exceed 60,000, but we can't do that just a few. It's going to take all of us giving what we can do and giving generously. So just enjoy giving this year. Terry and I enjoy giving and are so blessed that we can give. And we look forward to seeing what God does through our church and all the other 47,000 Southern Baptist churches. So thank you for being a part of this. God bless you. We love you. If you need something from us, feel free to call. Let us know. We'll pray for you as well. And be able to try to meet whatever needs you have. We love you. Have a great afternoon.